Okay. So we have a straight wall piece, we have a corner piece here. I think before we move on to anything else, I'm just going to fill this little gap here. So rather than model this geometry out, you know, with a fresh piece, what I can actually do is, because I know that this texture here is set to tile seamlessly. So what I'll do is I'll actually just grab these. And I want to press Shift D and what just happened there? Oh, okay. Yeah, this was something I was told about that I need to look at. So if you'll notice this, because I have snap turned on, if I press G to move this, it immediately snaps back onto the grid, even though I don't want that to happen. I want it to move directly along the x-axis from where it is. I think what's going on here is this absolute grid snap. So with this turned on, before I move anything into place, it's going to immediately snap it back to the next grid point, or the closest grid point, which isn't always what I want, to be honest. So I think for majority of the times I'm going to want that turned off. I'm not going to keep it active. I'll activate it whenever I need it, but for the moment I can kind of see that becoming more of an issue than a help. So I'm just going to turn that off. I'll try this again. I want to select these, and now if I press Shift D, it won't snap back, and I can get a perfect flush result from that. So that works for me. I'm going to use actually cutter objects to trim this where we need. It'll give us the cleanest result. So for that, I'm actually just going to separate this piece off, and I'll do the same with this part here. So I'll press Shift D, make a copy, and then P and separate selection. So we've got these two pieces that's going to be there to fill that gap. So basically, I'm going to, before I actually trim this down, what I'll do is I'm going to copy the edge from the top of this here. Just that one little edge. I'm going to use that as a cutter object. So I'll press Shift D, and I'm going to pull this up along the Z axis here, and then P, separate that, because I don't want that to be part of the object. I'm going to delete that once it's done. And likewise, we're going to need one to cut this guy here along that edge. So I'll take the top edge of this guy. I'll press D, copy him, P, and separate selection. So let's start with this guy here first. So I'm going to need him, and I want to trim this along this line, so I'll be using this cutter. I'll press Shift and select that, and let's isolate them out. So I know I kind of went over the cutting, like the knife project, a lot in the exterior series. So I'll just do a quick refresh on that. As long as we have like an edge that intersects along like an orthographic view, in this case you can't see it because it's just an edge, but it's cutting along this the y-axis here. As long as we have that, what we want to do to get the object we want to cut, select that, go into edit mode, press 3 to go to phase select, A to select everything, and then while in edit mode, if I hold Control key, click the edge I want to use as the cutter. So I want to cut this from the top view down to get the best result, so I'll snap into the Z angle here, and now that white line is my cutter. This orange line is the geometry I'm cutting, and I just want to cut this little piece here out. So with all them selected, I'll go to Mesh, Knife Project, and in this little pop-up box, you don't actually see it here, I think because my camera's in the way, but on the bottom left, down here, if it makes sense, there's a Knife Project window that'll pop up, and you want to just activate Cut Through. And that will cut through all edges on this geometry. Then it's just a case of coming through and deleting the large edges, or the large faces we don't want. And once that's done, we can remove the cutter object as well. Now I'll come out of isolation, and you can see here, we have that working fine. So now we just want to do the same with this piece here. I'll select him, select the cutter object, isolate. Now I will go into edit mode, select all the faces, Control, select the cutter, snap on the Z axis, go to Mesh, Knife Project, and ensure Cut Through is turned on, and that's it. That's all we have to do there. Just come in and select these faces, X, remove faces, and then I will remove the cutter. So that's a pretty easy way, a very easy and accurate way, I should say, of just filling in that little corner. Now, there's probably a bit of cleanup we can do here as far as the texture is. What I could do is just quickly show that I'll select all these, and I'll just move this texture down. Let me just constrain the image bounds here. And you can see that it's not perfect, but it's really relying on the texture you use. If I use the tiles here, it doesn't look bad. It's only the texture itself of that plaster, the wood plaster wall, that's the issue. The rest of it's fine. Let's take a look at how we can use what we have here to make something else, I guess, something different. I'm going to hide this corner piece for the moment. Actually, no, I'm going to use the corner piece, I think. What I'll do is I'll actually make a corner that's beveled. It's not a sharp corner. It's kind of like a... Yeah, I'll do like a large beveled corner. What I'll do is I'll copy this. And I'll just name this, for now, bevel, until I can find something a bit more creative. I'll hide the corner piece. And I don't think this would be wide enough. What I need to do is I'll probably have to make a double one of this. So I'll copy this and hide the original one. And now with this, I'll make another copy and merge them. Control J. And I can just then reset transforms on this. So that's a double piece here. But we actually want to get rid of the middle line in this case. So... Actually, you know what? Let's keep this. Let's keep a version of this as a double, because we'll probably make double doorways or something, you know? So this could actually come in handy. So I have straight single. I'll just call this one here straight double. We don't have to do any work on that, which is handy. And I'll copy this then. And hide the original. And if this one I'll modify to make the bevel. What I'll do is I'll remove all this. Okay, and this, no, I want them front and back. I'll remove the top ones here. So I'm gonna select this round here, and then the front and back, X, and remove faces. Now for this, I'll just quickly fill that gap. And now I'm just gonna, I want this to be one single polygon, but a double size. So I'll select him, and I'll bring him up to, and something funny happened here. Okay, I'll remove the diff and fill. Okay, now this, I will pull this out. 2 snaps, because having snap on, it just makes everything a lot easier here. Okay, so basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to move him onto the world center, and I'm going to use this guy here to extract cutter geometry to cut this at a bevel. So if I come into the Z axis here to get a orthographic top down, I'm going to go and rotate this. I'm going to give it 45 degrees. I can see up the top at 45. And now, because I didn't reset the transform on this yet, if I come here to the move tool, it's already set up because I'm in local axis here. If you were in global, you'd see your regular setup there. If I come into this and choose local, I can now pull this along its normal. So I'm going to pull this back here to get as much of a bevel as I want in this. So I don't want it too much. I think maybe that point. So it'll cut along here to this point here. And we also have the inside face there as well. So I think that works. So what I'll do is come back into top down here. And I'm going to select the top 2 edges here because that's all I need. I want to cut just this chunk out. I'll press Shift D and right click. And now I'm just going to move them up. And for the moment, I'll separate them off. D, separate by selection, and I'll remove Actually, I won't remove it yet. I'll just hide this straight double here. This is the cutter. Okay, name and configuration is a bit confusing there. Right, so let's go top down, and we'll select the cutter. Sorry, I got mixed up again. What do I do? Select this, go into edit mode, all faces, press A. Now hold control, select the cutter, that's it. Go into top down and go to mesh, knife project, and cut through is turned on. So now I can just come in and I will start selecting the faces that I just cut here. Which ones do I want to get rid of? Okay, so it's coming along here. We don't need these front faces. Nor these. So I'll press X and remove faces, and now I'll do the same. Actually, this would be better to do on top down here. I come in, turn on X-ray here. I can just select all of these. X faces. Okay, so that leaves the wall open then. I can come in and I'll select this face here. I want to go to edge select him and the opposite side and press F. And the same down here. F to bridge, and now I can come back here. I know I can remove these faces because they're going to be inside the thickness of the wall. Press X, remove face, and now I can bridge here and there. Okay, so it leaves a little bit of a maintenance to do. It's not too bad. I'm going to be reviewing this obviously, so I'll come in with vertex selection and I'm going to just select. We want everything to meet on this vertex, running down, and the same on that side. So I'm basically sliding these vertices from here up to this one. So to do that, we have to select him, select the one I want to slide to, go to vertex, and I can, if I remember correctly, merge. Now it's right click, merge vertices, there we go. And I want to go with at last. I'm actually going to add this to my quick key, so I'm going to right click. Oh, I already have it added. Do I? Add to quick favorites. Yep, okay. Q at last, there we go. And I'm just going to come along here and just, oh, okay, there's an overlap here. Alright, let me just quickly weld everything here. I'll press A, select everything, right click, merge by distance. So that should clean that up. Q, merge at last, and do the same here. Okay, the back is fine. There is edges running here. I don't know where they came from. I don't need them though, so I'm gonna press X, remove dissolve edges. Alright, and now I'll just merge these right here. Quick favorites at last. Q at last. So now we just need to fix the UVs on this. Q at last. I'll quickly bridge these faces here. So I'm selecting both edges, press F. And down the bottom here as well. Okay. Now I could probably run an edge down the center here. I don't know if it's necessary. I know I don't need these cutters anymore. I can select that, X, delete that. Suppose we could temporarily just snap this piece here to the middle because it's, again, the texture pattern is very niche, you know. So we can see that this isn't a perfect square. So if we unwrap this, press U, unwrap, angle based, we can see it's a lot taller than it is wide. So I'm just going to move this into place for a moment just to get a proper look. I'll use the transform tool. Just gonna bring this up so that it lines up on the bottom here. And now I will just move it into place. Let's try eyeball it in the center here. So I'll just quickly do the rest here. I don't want that duplicate, I'll remove him. For this, actually what I'll probably do is I'll come into edit here, select him. In the UV editor, here I want to right click and I will, or is it under UV? Can I copy UVs? And I think then if I just duplicate this one, not duplicate it, but if I unwrap it, unwrap, angle based, and now just right click. No, in UV, can I paste UVs? Okay, it kind of doesn't do a very good job at all. I suppose I'm probably better off just doing it manually. So I will scale them up. And move them into place. So I'm going to be judging here to make sure it lines up properly. Okay, I need to bring this down a bit. Now I can see these aren't lining up, so I can move them here. Okay, and now I just need to rotate it in place, so I'll press R, won't let me, I have to come out of constrain. Now, that should be fine. Okay, that's pretty much that. I think I'll need to find another texture though. That's throwing the illusion that there's something wrong. There's not. But as well as that, because I have this guy here turned upside down, it's gonna kind of ruin the other textures anyway. That is, I guess, it's good to have in niche circumstances, but it's not a great texture to have for something that's designed to be changeable or swappable. So I'll probably off camera, I'll find a more suitable texture to fit kind of what we're going for anyway. But let's just see if it's all lining up and rotations are working okay. So let's bring the corner piece back in. So with this then, if I rotate this, you can see the pivot point is perfect. It's lining up where we need it to. If I make a duplicate of it, Control D. Now I rotate that the other way. It will line up there as well. And we'll also snap to everything else. So we just need to find a better texture, I think, to get a better understanding of how everything's looking. So let's actually start making some wall extras, you know, like we can do some coving, some skirting boards and things like that. Because everything is going to start from one piece and it's going to be just a simple straight wall here. We'll decorate this one up and then we can just duplicate it and cut it to fit with everything else that we do from that point. So let's get started. We'll do a quick skirting board here and see how that goes.